If you want to factorize trinomials by using your calculator, I'm going to remind you or show you how to do that with these 3 examples. I also just want to remind you, your calculator isn't factorizing. Your calculator is solving for x. So we need to know how to get back from or work backwards from solving for x to getting it in the factored form. Let me just show you what I mean. So if we take that first one, let's just get the steps right. So on your calculator, if you don't have all those buttons, then it means that you don't have the right calculator, and that's okay. Just use the previous video to solve this without your calculator. If you press mode, then it gives us a bunch of options. Then we go to 5, which is equations. That's what that stands for. And then we are going to go to 3, because 3 is solving for quadratic equations. So then we press 3, and now we get it in this format. So if we think about the first one there is our A value, which is 1, our B value, which is 3, and our C value, which is 2. And that is what we are going to be reading into our calculator. So our A value is 1, equal. Our B value is 3, equal. And our C value is 2, equal. Equal again. Then that gives us, and I repeat what I said, this solves for x. Our first solution for x is equal to -1. And then the second solution is -2. -1. And our second x solution is -2. We are not solving for x. We are not doing our equations. The calculator is doing that, because remember, the calculator is not a mind reader. It's just doing what you are telling it to do, and it thinks that we are solving an equation. So our calculator just solved a quadratic equation. But this is just a tool for us to help us factorize. So we have to work backwards. So we need to use that information to now put it back into those factored brackets. So we're going to have our x and our x, which is the square root of the first term, and then we are going to put these back into the brackets. And in order to do that, we are going to change the sign. This one will be a +2. And if we multiply it back out, if we FOIL it back out, you're going to see it works. Why do we change the sign? Like, why does this work? Well, if we are solving equations, then it would be asked something like this. X squared plus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. And then we would factorize it. Let me just do this. Then we would factorize it. X plus 1, x plus 2 equal to 0. And then, and then we would say, okay, well, in this case, either the first bracket is equal to 0, or that second bracket must be equal to 0. And therefore, x is equal to -1, or x is equal to -2. Now, your calculator just went straight there. Straight there. So why does the sign change? Because the factor is actually that. And then when we make it equal to 0, we take it over to the other side, and that's why it's got a different sign. Let's do that again for number 2. Into our calculator. So I just cleared that. What is our A value? In this case, our A value is equal to 2. Our B value is equal to -5, equal. And our C value is equal to 3, equal. All right, then equal again. So we've got an x of 3/2. That's our first solution. Remember, your calculator is on its own mission. It is solving equation. 3/2 is the first solution, and then 1. Okay, 3/2 is the first solution, and then x is equal to 1. I believe that was the other one. I can't really remember. Okay, I think that's right. Now we have to work backwards and put that into those brackets. Now, this one is a little bit trickier because we're dealing with a fraction over there. And this is where I find students mess it up a little bit, because we can't go do that. We can't say, oh, so it's y minus 3/2 and y minus 1. No, that's not in its factored form. We can't have our fraction in there. So what are we going to do? Well, if we work backwards. If that is our solution, we need to get, I'm just going to show you what I did over there, that you can see why it works. And if you know why it works, then in future, you don't have to worry about that. You can just use the shortcut. So like over there, our calculators solve this. 2y squared minus 5y plus 3 is equal to 0 because it needs to be an equation to solve it. And then the calculator said, okay, well, these are the solutions, right? So we need to get that factored form so that when we take the first bracket and we make it equal to 0, we will get to that answer. And if we take the second bracket and we make it equal to 0, we will get that answer. So just bear with me. So what would that factor over there look like? In order, when we isolate the x, that it would look like that. I'm just creating a little bit of space. So the first solution that we had there was, now I can't remember, was it 3 over 2? 3 over 2. And then this one was equal to 1. Well, if we want to get it into the factored form, we need to get a 0 on the other side. So let's manipulate that. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. Let's do that. I multiply both sides by 2. Then I get 2x is equal to 3. We want a 0 on the other side. So it's 2x minus 3 equal to 0. And there is our factor. So when we've got 2x minus 3, our solution will be that. Because when we isolate that x, then our x will be that. And then for this one over here, this one is easy. We just change the sign because that's not a fraction. That's just easy. We would just change the sign. It's for a fraction when we need to put in that simple step. So what is the shortcut? The shortcut is, if your calculator tells you that the solution is 3 over 2, the shortcut would just be, this one over here will just become the coefficient. And this one over here will just go there. And the sign will be the opposite of what it is there. And there is the factor. And that is when we worked it out and we did all the things, we got to that anyway. So that would be the shortcut. Let's do one more for when it is a fraction. For this one, our a value is 6. 6 equal. Our b value is negative 23. Negative 23 equal. And then we've got negative 80. Equal, equal. All right, those are our solutions for x. Your calculator is finding the solutions, but we want to factorize, so we're going to work backwards. So that one has got 2 solutions that are fractions. So let's write them down. Your calculator says that x is equal to 9 over 2, or x is equal to negative 2 over 3. Let me just actually put those in there. I never finished that. And then y minus 1. Okay. All right. So for this one over here, we are just factorizing. So we just want that our calculator is doing equations. So we need to work backwards. We cannot put fractions back into the bracket. All right. So shortcut. Let's just do the shortcut with this one. That one becomes the coefficient. So it becomes 2x. And then this one goes there. And then we change the sign. So if this is a positive fraction, it would be a minus in between. So it would be 2x minus 9. That's the first one. And for the second one, the denominator becomes the coefficient. So that will be 3x. That one goes there. And the sign needs to change. Currently, that fraction is a negative. Then it will become a positive. So there are our 2 factors. And that's the shortcut for it. I hope that helps. And do a few on your own and see that it works.